How's it going, Blazers? Working to bring you specifications you can relate to, so you can educate decision on your purchases. This is a company, a Yobo tool. Your outdoor best option is the name of the company. So that's kind of what I've seen them since 2018 is probably when I got first introduced to them. So they had the Aurora, which was their initial model that went to Kickstarter. I think it was about $12,000 funded for that campaign. So that one came out. It's not on the table now, but they did send in the Meg and the Cayman. So we're going to take a look at those as far as what I think about it. Their boxes are probably some of the best out there. So for display purposes, for the way it's done very well for the way the display of the box, the little slip-off cover, and then the knife also. So we'll go into these, I'll get these opened up and bring them onto the screen one by one, and we can kind of talk through them. The Silverback, I have a review up already, so I'll link that up on the top here, so you can see that one if you want to take a look at it by yourself. But this is probably my favorite out of the bunch. So that's in comparison also to the Aurora, which I don't have anymore. So that's this one here. All of them are VG10. VG10 is one that kind of gets a little bad rap for it, but they are probably about 31% percentile as far as edge retention, but they're up in like probably 60-70% as far as the actual corrosion resistance side of it. So it's going to be something that you could use very much outdoors and not worry about it as much as some of the other knives that you might come across. But that's going to be that knife there for the Silverback. They are having a current sale on Amazon, so you can get them for probably about $54-$55. That's going to be about $12 off of their normal pricing for it. But the downside to some of these, some of the knives are still a floating pivot, so you cannot take it apart very easily. Not that you really need to, because their action is very good, so it doesn't really need to be having any type of maintenance right away. Then that's one thing that's really common across the board for Yobo tool is their action is very good. But the downside to the Yobo tool also is the pocket clip. So they did make a difference for the newest model for the Meg, but there's still some issues with it. But this is the one here, fairly sharp on the corners. So they could do something here. So if you took that off and just had it be a backpack knife, something for outdoors, it might be something good for you, but it is a striking design. So that's going to be the Silverback, S-I-V-B-A-C-K. So the Cayman is another one. This is another one that's a little bit of an older model for them, but I didn't see it before. But it's a nice looking knife. It's a little bit interesting as far as the style, but it's a good one in hand, fairly good grip, and that's one thing that actually is a plus for the grip. But then again, it goes to more of a backpack knife, because still same thing. The downside to most Yobo tools is the pocket clip, and this one is one of the higher grades as far as not the best, because of how grippy it is and how this scaling is actually milled, and also the amount of texturing you get on the G10. This is very hard to take in and out of your pocket. So that's some of the feedback that they got also from some other folks as well. Same steel, so you're going to get VG10 for it as far as the blade steel. So again, not a bad steel, but also not going to be the standout that you might be looking for in some of the instances. But for $50, it's not going to be a bad choice for you. Again, probably still backpack knife, more so because of that pocket clip is that downside for them. And then the last one that we have here on the table is going to be the Meg. The Meg is one that comes in a lot of different colors for it. So if you want to do like a Stormtrooper white and black, you can do that. So that's something that's very well available for it. I went with the orange one, because then I don't have many orange knives. So the G10 was getting a little bit dirty for it, so I could probably clean that off. But this one, they did go over to a wire clip for it. I don't really know why they don't go for just a standardized clip, because if they use a standard wire clip, then there would be fairly good as far as the way it's set up. A standard loop over, something that's a standardization for it, because for me, I don't use lanyards, so I would rather have the pocket clip maybe a little bit higher. This angle for it, it rides a little bit funny in the pocket. So I'll show you as far as what this looks like in a pair of jeans. So this is going to be the kind of the pocket. So on a straight pocket, it has a little bit of an odd angle to it. So it's almost like it should be either flat or maybe the opposite direction for the knife. So if you're actually going to shove it into the pocket, it just kind of kicks out there. So there's just another downside. So it's kind of the idea of probably putting like a really powerful motor into a Geometro. So that's where it's like they get a lot of things done very well, but their pocket clip side is the downside to most of their knives. And then the downside to the Meg is it doesn't have a standard type of clip. So this one I could say, well, you could just remove it, throw it in a pack, throw it into your car to have it be just available to use, which wouldn't be too bad. But for this one, it doesn't have a standard clip. So it has the screws on this side, and then it has the wire side of it on this side. That's part of, looks like these screws. So you cannot really take this off and run without it, so you're stuck with it. So it sticks, you can feel it in your hand, definitely gets in kind of the palm right here. That's what's hard about it, is because for the most part, their knives have really good action for it, as you can maybe hear on that. So all of them have a good snappy action. All VG10, all can do outdoor utility things for it. But their downside, their Achilles heel, is going to be the pocket clip. And maybe you're the one that actually really like it. That might not be an issue for you. But that's what I find as far as kind of across the board for some of the downsides to the knives. But then even for the amount of pull they have, most of them are pretty decent as well. So we'll kind of go through as far as a baseline. So 2 to 3 pounds is what I feel is a good amount of weight for deployment for a knife. So we're going to go through. So it's going to be a little bit higher, 3.7 for this one here. And then we're going to go over to the Cayman. So Cayman is 3.1, and then we have the Meg, which is the last one of it. And overall, I mean, they're not bad knives, which is the hard part about it. Maybe not meeting up to your best outdoor, but with the VG10, 2.2 pounds, 15.3 ounces. So for outdoors, VG10 might be a good option. It's not going to be one that you could just not care to take care of. But it is one that is not a bad knife. It just the pocket clips are not the best. Just that little fit and finish that lasts a little bit. So I would totally recommend the Silverback. Again, if the pocket clip was better, this one definitely a backpack type of knife, something to throw in your car. Pocket clip is not good because of how grippy this is. And the Meg, still good action, but the pocket clip, again, it doesn't ride as well. It is an improvement, definitely over the Cayman to the Meg, but it's still a little bit odd. So that's where I would hope they would run through some folks as far as getting opinions before bringing out the new models, because it's kind of been consistent as far as some of the feedback that they've been getting from reviewers. And again, we're not the end all be all, but when it comes out to be like a reviewer after reviewer saying kind of the same thing, well, it's probably something to do with the way it's built. And so I would hope that the company would take in some of that information and then provide the tools that folks are looking for the knives. But action, great. Even the steel is good enough for it. This is probably my favorite blade shape out of the group. Overall, for handle and blade, I do like this one here for the silverback, and it's usable still. It's just going to be taking, so it's just going to be having to round it out. So it would be taking like some type of high-grade sandpaper, something that's like a file maybe, and just kind of finishing that out a little bit more, or I might find another clip that works for this. So that is Yobo tool. They're available on Amazon again. That's something that you can pick up. They're a decent brand for the knives they provide, but there's just a little bit, like, it's getting there, and maybe if they continue can push forward, they can get to a level where they can find that one knife that's their brand, that's what they're known for, and then hopefully we can go from there. So I really appreciate them sending it along. It's just something that I'm not finding to be a definite buy. It's definitely borrow it if you want to check it out. If you want to check it from Amazon, do that, because again, their actions are good. Just there's the major Achilles heel, as I said again, is going to be that pocket clip for most of their models. But check it out. Let me know in the comments down below as far as what you think. And thank you very much for your time. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. And thank you again.